And once you can see, this thing once below VWAP, it's staying extremely heavy. Heavy means the stock can barely bounce. So every single order is going through on the bid side. Everyone's selling on the bid to get out. And you can see with 2,000 shares short, I'm up unrealized around $700, $800. As a day trader, I believe that price action and risk management are the key to consistency. In today's live trading commentary, I'll be using my recent gap up short strategy on this low float small cap stock, GCT. You're gonna learn how I lost 3 times in this trading session, but I still ended up profitable on the day. So yes, even with a low win rate, you can still become profitable. You're gonna learn how to do so in this video. As always, I'm really honored and grateful to see so many positive feedback on the live trading videos, as well as any other series on my channel. So as long as you guys like the videos and comment your questions, and most importantly, smash the like button hard enough, I will be here to follow up and fulfill your Lamborghini orders. Smash the like button now. Here's the stock we're talking about today, GCT. It's a small cap stock, relatively lower float, and it gapped up on this particular day on the daily charts over here. You can see huge gap up from prior day's close of we're talking about 580s to all the way pre-market 1160s. So yeah, this thing pretty much doubled overnight. Now, to trade this particular setup, I'm usually more short biased. This is what we call the gap up short strategy. And yes, while I'll show you the live trading and all the executions later on, there's 3 important criteria you must know in order to trade this strategy. Number 1, you need to see a downtrending daily chart. So let's look at the daily chart in focus over here. This is the daily chart of the stock. If we reset the price scale, you can see this thing, right now it's trading at around $8. The day of the gap up, it went to 1160s. But if you went all the way back to September of last year, 2022, this thing IPO'd around $15, went to $20, and eventually in the next couple of days, this thing spiked to $60 a couple of days after IPO. As you can see, ever since then, the stock is kind of failing, lower highs, falling even more, a little spike here, and continually just selling off, breaking down to 16s and eventually to single digits, $5. Now, this is what we call a bag holder daily chart. And every time I see this kind of daily chart, it reminds me of my ex-husband, Mike Bagholder. You see, Mike Bagholder used to love buying these kind of stocks. He'll buy it at $36, thinking it's going back to $56, and next day it sells off to $16, so he's down 50%, and he still doesn't sell. To him, he just cannot accept taking on losses and realizing it like that. Once you realize a loss, it becomes real. So if you don't look at it, eventually it's gonna come back up to $50, $60, right? Wrong. You see, Mike Bagholder, just like many other investors or traders bag holding the stock, they didn't cut their losses. So that's the reason every time the stock spikes, like this one, you can see the spike with 15 to 28, that's a nice spike. But it never lasts. The next day, gap down, sell off even more. And that's the reason on this particular day, when the stock gapped up from $5 to $11 pre-market, I'm more short biased because of all the bag holders, all the Mikes, all the ex-husbands that's trying to get out of their losing position. Sorry, that's a very long story of explaining what I see on the daily chart. So essentially, you can see these resistance over here around $13, around $11.50, $12 here. There's a lot of resistance from all the way from October of last year. And same thing here, you have another level here around the $9.50, $10 mark. So these are key levels or key resistance on the daily chart that you must respect intraday. That brings us to criterion number 2. You want to see a huge overnight gap up on this kind of small cap stock. So this is what we see earlier. Prior day's close, this thing was trading around less than $6. Overnight it doubled. So this is a huge gap up, and you want to know the reason why. And if you go back to FinViz, look at the news, this is a free website. If you scroll down to this particular day, you can see the stock gapped up overnight due to earnings news. So they beat on EPS, earnings, revenue, sales, all of that's great, and including this overnight gap up, but guess what? Nobody cares. Here's a pro tip for you. When you're trading large cap stocks, which is like the Nvidia, the Tesla, etc., those earnings news, the gap up, yes, they are valid and they are very much tradable. Sometimes you see the stocks gap up and keep on going higher. But when it comes to the small cap stocks, I want to say 9 out of 10 times, nobody cares. Because what matters the most is a long-term daily chart. So that's a pro tip, and keep that in mind if you're trading these small caps, the low floats. Moving on to criteria number 3, you want to see an intraday downtrading chart. So we talked about earlier, yes, we see that the daily has a backward chart and we can confirm that. You want to see some similar trend as well intraday. So what does that mean exactly? Intraday, you want to see the stock spike and reject these daily key levels at 1160s, 950s, and selling off even more. You want to see it making lower highs and lower lows, and a lot of these failed spikes consolidate and break down even more. That's how you know this is the kind of stock you want to stay short, especially after a huge overnight gap up. Now that you learned about the chart setup daily and intraday that I usually look for when trading these gap ups, and especially on the short side, I want to share with you my thesis for this gap up short trade on GCT and all the key levels I planned out before executing the trade. So this is a game plan from a particular day. This kind of low float stock, they love to trap pre-market. And that's the reason if you look at pre-market, this thing just continue higher. Even after $7.50 to $9, spoilers, I tried shorting it here and I stopped out for a loss. It went up higher to 1160s. So while yes, it's a short, you want to be cautious because a lot of times they squeeze first at the open, 5 minutes, and then sell off much later after that. So that's the reason I said, if you're long biased, do not chase the breakout. And if you're looking to short, like I was, looking to short it if the key levels break down on the daily chart. The pre-market watch list and the game plan is posted in the Humble Trader community every single morning. But just a reminder, you can also get our free weekly watch list emailed to you every single Sunday. In the email, you're going to see 4 to 5 stocks to watch in the upcoming week, as well as the key level analysis. So make sure you subscribe to the free watch list if you haven't done so already. Or you can comment watch list down below and I'll reply you with a link to get a free watch list. Okay, as you can see, the recording starts about here, about 5 minutes after the market opened. As you can see on this particular stock over here, GCT, I've already taken one loss pre-market. As you can see, I realized a loss of $59. And now I have an average 1050s on the short side with only 500 shares. Stopping out in time and keeping the losses very small and manageable is very important because pre-market shorting is very risky and I didn't think that it was ready for the spike and breakdown. So that's the reason I waited till after the open. I had a small little scalp over here. That was also a starter. I only started looking at this once again, 500 shares short at 1050s right here. That's why I got in once again. And that's the area we're looking at right now. You can see on the top of the frame over here, I'm looking at the stock ZURA. I also started a short at 726s. So they're both starters at this time. So ZURA on the top, GCT at the bottom. I'm letting GCT consolidate and work and see if I can start adding into my short position. You can see over here, I'm trying to add another 500 shares at 1046 over here. So now I have 1,000 shares at 1048 average. But once again, these are very small positions that I plan on building into once I'm proven right. You can see GCT is consolidating nicely above VWAP. It looks like it wants another spike. So if that's the case, I'm going to stop out for a loss first and then re-enter short. And at the bottom over here, GCT, it's forming technically, it's having trouble breaking out. So it's still holding lower lows and lower highs, which is part of the criteria for the strategy. Criteria number 2, you want to see the stock making intraday lower lows, lower highs, essentially downtrending on both the intraday chart and the daily chart. So as you can see on the top, I stopped out of that stock for a loss on Zira, realized $250 loss. Remember, I do not bag hold. Instead of bag holding like my ex-husband on the way up, I would rather close up and realize the loss and then re-enter when the timing and the entry is correct. Oh, oops, sorry guys, it's my Tesla stock price alert. I've been waiting for this key level to close on my Tesla swing trade. And this is Moomoo, a trading platform that I've been testing out on my phone for months now. I started to use Moomoo because of the extremely low fees. You can trade stocks, ETFs, and options straight from your phone or from your laptop, and you don't have to worry about any commission fees, account minimums, or hidden fees. Moomoo has a powerful trading platform that offers full extended hours trading and lots of free market data and tools, more than any other apps I've used. It was founded in Silicon Valley and backed by a Nasdaq-listed fintech company with almost 20 million users around the world. Unlike many zero-commission trading apps, Moomoo stands out as the only app that provides both free and real-time level 2 data and daily short volume. I can easily go to the stock quotes page and find the real-time level 2 quotes up to 60 levels for free. You can get up to 16 free stocks if you use my link down below in the description to sign up and make your deposits today. Shout out to Moomoo for the trading platform. Check them out, guys. After all, it's free to use. So fast forward now, you can see GCT is trying very hard to consolidate. But the thing with these low float small cap stocks is their consolidation play a lot of games. So in this case, the consolidation earlier looks very, very bullish. It looked like it was getting a lot of bids and a layout bidding the stock up higher. That's where you see that failed little spike here. But guess what? That little spike is just a way to trap the longs, get them to buy, and at the same time get the shorts like me covering their shorts. So that's where you get a little failed spike over here that you see. And then once everyone covers, boom, you can see this thing just rug pull city. And since I had only started with 1,000 shares, I wish I didn't cover. But for me, I want to make sure that the timing is right for me to stay longer and not get trapped. But obviously in this case, you can see I covered right before the drop. But that's the reason I really quickly added back in 1,000 shares, as you can see, at 950s, because that tape looked heavy after that drop. So at this point, I've taken the third loss on the day. GCT, 2 losses and 1 loss on Zira. And I realized $99 loss on GCT, $250 on Zira. So together, that's $350 lost on the day. But I'm not panicking. Do I wish I didn't cover that soon? Do I wish I wasn't that conservative? Yes, of course. But it doesn't matter. Sometimes with these small cap games, they squeeze it up and hold it up $2, $3. So I didn't want to take that kind of risk. And once you can see, this thing once below VWAP, it's staying extremely heavy. Heavy means the stock can barely bounce. So every single order is going through on the bid side. Everyone's selling on the bid to get out. And that's where you get a waterfall of red prints over here, like you see, and the stock just cannot bounce to 950, 940s. And this time around, I'm staying with my shorts. 1,000 shares so far at 950, and I plan on adding into the position. And this is the way I trade. I don't mind taking 1, 2, or 3 in this case, initial losses, to make sure that on the trade that I do take and I start adding into it, I want to have a bigger size and I want to be right after confirmation. So in this case, it has confirmed all the criteria we talked about. Downtrending daily chart, backholder chart, overnight gap up, and number 3, downtrending intraday. With a lot of failures underneath VWAP. You can see lower lows, lower highs. The stock just cannot bounce. Fast forward a little bit, you can see I'm adding 500 shares to the breakdown confirmation over here. So I added some more at, this is what, 930s. Now I have an average of 943, 1,500 shares short. So again, now that a trade has confirmed, I want to stay with the trade. And the stock has tried to bounce multiple times. This time, 940, 950 retest. But these are very, very weak bounces. And unlike the last time, I'm not worried. I'm just watching the stock and want to sit and let it play out. You can see another attempt to spike. And they drop the bids. You can see it's at lows of the day, 917s. And watch them drop the bid. Right now. That's where you get a rug pull when you have a huge order going through on the bid side. I'm still holding at 1,500 shares short, 943 average. I want to see if the stock can get to 850s or below. Fast forward a little bit more. I'm using a 5-minute chart over here. You can see the stock is trying very hard to bounce off that $9 area. Struggling with that. You can see all these little wicks on the top. Wicks on the top means every single little bounce is sold into. Right? So you can see on a bigger time frame, 5-minute chart, this stock is very weak. That's when you see this, you need to stay with a short. So you can see I'm staying with it, I'm being patient with it. I'm actually looking to add. So you can see I added 500 more shares at 910s, and now I have 2,000 shares short at 933's average. Once again, the reason I'm much more patient with the third trade on GCT after all the previous losses is because the stock has confirmed to be extremely weak after all the breakdown, all the criteria that it met. Once the price action confirms your thesis, you want to stay with it. You want to make sure you're maximizing your profit, and that will in turn minimize and erase all the losses you've taken prior. Most new traders and the traders who are unsuccessful, they do the opposite. They'll hold on to winners very short, so they see a profit, they sell it. But with the losers, they'll keep on holding for a lot longer. That's why you should analyze your trades and making sure that you are doing the opposite. You want to let your winners run. So in this case, $9 breaking down right now. We're about to see another breakdown, another rug pull on GCT. And you can see with 2,000 shares short, I'm up unrealized around $700, $800. If I just realize this win, then I'll break even on the day, erasing the $500 losses I already took before this trade. But again, we're not trading our P&L here. We're making sure that we are trading well. So, I want to see if I can maximize this profit. This is a really good example that a trade like this requires you to really practice your patience and control your emotions. Do not let the previous losses make you lose control and start trading randomly or revenge trading. Your ability to stick to a price action and understand what you are seeing on your live charts is a crucial skill to have. As a day trader, I believe that price action and risk management are the key to consistency. Do you agree with me on this? Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section below. I've also made a free crash course on price action trading, so you can watch that after this video. So fast forward a little bit, this is like what, 10:50, 11 o'clock. You can see I already covered 700 shares earlier at $9. And now I have 1,200 shares, 933 average, and I think I'm about to cover in the low 8s. At 830, 820, that area. You can see I'm trying to cover some, covering 300 shares at 818, 819 area. Let's see if I get it. So I just took some more profit, realized about $400 green on this GCT trade. Remember, that's from taking 2 losses before this. Fast forward even more, you can see I'm trying to cover everything around $7-ish. 780s, 790s. So I'm just covering all my shares. You can see I just realized $1,500 on GCT. After the loss from Zira, that netted me about $1,100 green on the day. So here are some key takeaways on this trade. What I could have done better is I could have waited longer before covering all these initial started sizes. Like you guys saw earlier, I got a little bit spooked out by the consolidation and the price action when the stock is kind of looks like it was trying to squeeze and spike. But there's really no reason to get spooked out when I only had 1,000 shares starter. So yeah, of course I wish I had held all the position sizes. But remember, hindsight is 20/20. Nobody makes money from trading in hindsight. But to recap what I did really well on this trade, I had really good risk management, which is always something that I preach and I talk about on this channel. I had some really good risk management, especially pre-market. If I didn't take in that initial loss, I would have gotten squeezed for $1,000 to $2,000 before the stock market even opened. And remember, I took a total of 3 losses on the day. I was down negative $500 earlier. But despite all of that losses, I had one profitable trade that still allowed me to end my day very green with $1,100. So that's the reason I always talk about your win rate really doesn't matter that much if you're bad at risk management. You don't want to be winning 99% of the time and have 1% of the trades be a big loss that'll blow up everything else. Remember, risk management and price action is the key to becoming consistently profitable in trading. I hope you learned something from the strategy video. Don't forget to gently tap the like button if you want to see more strategy videos in the future. If you want to become more profitable, then you should definitely check out my live trading videos with price action analysis. All the videos are in the playlist over here.